The Acolyte and Star Wars are absolute dumpster fires. Inside Out 2 is a box office darling. One is woke, the other is no joke. Now Disney has to learn a very hard lesson, but are they and the media willing to take this one to heart? Or will they spin it again, folks? Spitting in the face of the investors. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. We've been doing so. We're happy to do so. And it is always a highlight video when Mexican Iron Man joins us. Mike, welcome back to the channel.
Thanks for having me, Pro. Always good to be here. These are exciting and challenging and, dare I say it, stressful times related to Disney financial performance.
Well, they've got a yin and yang here. They've got an abstract choice. It's binary. I know they hate binary, but Disney has an option here. They can either stay with woke, or they can go broke, or they can get out of it. Take a look at what's happening with Inside Out 2, which we gave a review of this. Gave it a 7 out of 10. It's not as good as the first one. It's not as good as their best. But you don't have to be at your best, apparently. And that nonsense about people being trained like seals to go home and wait for the Pixar movies to land on Disney Plus, that was all a bunch of nonsense. All of that being proven right now, it turns out that if you'll just put out an average Pixar film that basically isn't woke, at least it's not traditionally woke, the folks will turn out. Take a look at this. This is by Pamela McClintock out of the Hollywood Reporter. Box office, Inside Out 2 heading for historic $140 to $150 million U.S. opening, a near record for Pixar. Now, Mike, there may be some out there who say, now, Pro, you told us this was going to do poorly. You told us this was going to make $80 million, yada, yada. Folks, all we can do is go off the projections that we're given. We read that to you based on what the industry was seeing. Now the industry has been shocked. And I don't know that we're shocked necessarily, but I think there's a lesson here that the media is unlikely to report on. There's a lesson here that Disney is unlikely to publicly state, and that is that this is yet another sign, go woke, go broke. Because The Acolyte, doing terribly, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, doing terribly, all the Pixar films that they've been putting out that were woke, Lightyear, Strange World, doesn't matter. I don't care if it's Pixar or Disney Animation. Put them all together. This film goes back to, hey, let's just do a regular Pixar film. Let's not try to do tribalism. Let's not try to do postmodern issues. And guess what? It's doing dandy. The folks will come out for it. It says Pixar's tentpole earned a massive $62 million on Friday, well ahead of the expectations, and putting the movie on course to open in the $140 to $150 million range domestically over Father's Day weekend. And, it could get up to 160. This is really, really impressive stuff. That's going to put it behind The Incredibles 2 at $182.7 million. It's going to put it probably behind, although not definitely, probably behind the Super Mario Brothers movie. It could actually take that spot. It could knock Super Mario Brothers down into third place. And then you can see the other films are Finding Dory, Frozen 2, and all of this, of course, this list is based on whether or not you believe that the Lion King CGI thing is animation or not. But Mike, there's a dichotomy here. There's a split here. There's a black and white. It's a binary thing, in my opinion. Everything Disney has done that has been woke, folks decide not to go see it. Inside Out 2, although it has some minor stuff, it's really not woke, at least not in the traditional sense. Mike, do you think the lesson will be learned, or do you think they're just going to continue moving forward, and this is one blip on the radar where they finally figured out, oh, let's not actually be in the culture war and let's make money?
I don't know if let's take a step back. There's not a lot of competition right now for movies in general. So if it's not woke and it's family friendly, then people are going to go see it. I mean, having a successful run in the movie theater is pretty simple. Make something that people want to go see and people will go and see it, whatever.
And why wouldn't they do that for years, Mike? Why have they not done it for years?
Well, a lot of the movies that we've gotten in the last few years have been awful reboots, awful woke disasters, not bad, inferior storytelling. I'm not saying that this particular movie is superior storytelling. In fact, from your review and others that I've seen, it's just okay in the bygone era comparative analysis. But there's not a lot of competition out there, so I'm not surprised that it's doing well. Now, your question is the real important question, which is that given that this is one of Disney's only releases this year, and given that it's outperforming what were widely held as the estimates that were widely held, and given that it's not woke, will they in Hollywood and Disney in particular learned that, hey, if we put out a movie that's not particularly woke, it might do okay. I don't think they're going to learn that lesson, because I have to put that up against, I look at this movie being made not with deliberate intention to not be woke, maybe more with trepidation of how woke would it be. And in this case, it's not woke. But I look at what the rest of the company is doing in theme parks, in its entertainment offerings. This isn't a company that gives me any belief that it's trying to learn any kind of lessons about woke stuff.
Right. Now, one of the things we said, we've been highly critical of this film because one of the characters is anxiety. That is a disorder, and in terms of being part of the name of a disorder. And they could have named this character worry. They could have named it, any other number of things rather than anxiety. They chose not to do that. But other than that, and other than the fact that there are some interesting background characters, the thing's not woke. I mean, they don't even touch the puberty issue at all. That was something we thought, Lord, are we going to do another Turning Red all over again? They stay away from that this time. And my gosh, Turning Red, they try to pretend that had to be pulled because of the pandemic. Turning Red had to be pulled because they were terrified of what it would do at the box office.
Yeah, I agree
and so they got away from that.
Yeah,
now I want to show you though, Mike. Look at this. This is the difference, though. Okay, I want to show people because so many times we watch and we make fun of the gaslighting that surrounds Star Wars, Marvel these days, because the media will try to make good headlines when there are no good stories. Everybody understand that? Bad stories, good headlines. You understand? When we're looking at the box office for Inside Out 2, they don't have to do that. And we don't have to, we're not going to come out there and be, falsely negative about it either. We'll say, this is fantastic for Disney, fantastic for theater owners, fantastic for investors. But this is the difference. This is what we have to deal with when they do go ultra woke. And the Acolyte is the absolute epitome of wokeness. Take a look at this, Mike. You won't believe it. The Acolyte's new song takes Star Wars into its R&B era. Victoria Monet's The Power of Two makes a big step for the franchise's music. I'm glad that it's taking a big step because John Williams, he just did not take this to places it needed to be. John Williams' music is not Star Wars. We need to go here. And I can't play it, Mike. It is terrible. It is based on the witches.
I've
singing.
heard it. I've heard it.
Oh, you've heard this? Oh, it's what did you?
Oh, yes, I have. Yes.
What did you think about it, Mike? What did you think about The Power of Two? The power of many.
#trainwreck.com.
All right, so then let's do the comparison, Mike. Let's say you're Bob Iger, or let's say that you're an investor because, well, you unfortunately are. Mike, you got two choices here going forward. You can put out stuff that's not woke, that's not divisive, that's not postmodern, that appeals to the broadest possible demographic, and you can make more money than you can possibly shovel into the banks. That's Inside Out 2. And you don't even have to put out a great product. That's why I say Moana's $1 billion movie if they just shut up and don't make it woke. Or you can do what's done to Marvel and to Star Wars, and you can sit down there in the absolute gutter with your films flopping, with you losing hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, think about the Marvels, right? Mm-hmm. Think about the stuff they've been putting out. Think about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And this is the difference. Just put out something that is passable, that doesn't offend people, and isn't woke. You will make more money than you can calculate. So, Mike, if you're the CEO, if you're the board, if you're the investors, how do you force the creatives to stop creating this woke nonsense that destroys you?
Well, I think the only way that that's going to happen is if they experience massive box office failures across the board, that of movies that are woke, and experience some success with movies that aren't woke. I don't know what's going to happen with Deadpool. I don't know where Inside Out's going to go from here, but it looks like this is a damn promising start. This thing could run pretty solid all summer long. As word
absolutely.
As word
Despicable
spreads,
Me, Mike.
Right.
That's gonna have a big impact. We got to see what happens.
For sure, because that's a brand that's larger, older, and that brand is just, amazing. I mean, that's just intrinsic, and people know it's going to be, what you're going to get when you go there. So I don't know. I almost wish that Disney had more releases. I almost wish that they had more releases that were wokey, that failed, so that they could learn the lesson more dramatically. I'm concerned that with so few Disney releases, whether it's under the Fox banner or it's under, the Pixar or Disney banner, whatever banner it's under. I'm worried that there's not enough releases for them to learn the data, because they're not like you, Pro. They're not doing the math the way you do, the way Valiant does, and others. I'm afraid they'll just be like, "Oh, great, we had a win," and and they'll just keep going. I think it needs to be dramatic, and I don't know if they're at critical mass of failure yet. I just don't know yet.
All right, let me ask you this, Mike, because I think this is the meta-analysis that the folks out there want to know. Does the success of Inside Out 2, in your estimation, does that provide cover in the media for the Acolyte? In other words, are we going to get a nonstop positive
For sure,
assembly line of stories about Inside Out 2, and they'll bury the Acolyte and say, never mind, we're not covering that anymore. That's gone. Old news.
Pro, it's so funny you say that. Just this afternoon, I was thinking, I'm already hearing Bob Iger at the next earnings call talking his usual thing, and then he's just going to plug in, we had a terrific summer. As you know, Inside Out 2 did very well, and we're a great.
He can finally say it. It's actually true, though, Mike. It's about time.
Here at Disney, we're a storytelling company, and what we do is we tell great stories. That's why when we tell stories, those stories are great, like Inside Out 2. I mean, I can already hear this guy.
Mike, the only mistake you made is you have to say the word dream and magic at least 7 times each.
That's right.
Then you're Bob. Then you're Bob.
Yep.
Well, I think what we're going to see here.
But here's the thing, Pro. Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Let me just add this. Going back to your point about the Acolyte, Bob can try to not mention it, but when we have major news publications in the financial sector talking about it, when we have literally all of the internet and social media, YouTube, which is the world's largest platform, talking about it, Bob may not bring it up at the earnings meeting, but it's that emperor that has no clothes moment. It's that it's that elephant in the room moment.
The other thing too, Mike, is to hammer this home, because there's going to be some who watch us this morning and they say to themselves, you guys, you're obsessed with the woke thing. You can't just give Disney the win, which, I mean, that's not the case at all. We're giving Disney the win. We're literally saying this is a tremendous win for Disney. Good for them. But Mike, when I'm thinking about the proof of this being based on wokeism, and that's a huge barometer whether or not you're going to fail. If this is successful to this degree, to this level, and Lightyear was a bomb, was a catastrophe, the only difference in these films is that Lightyear was out and about, totally woke, totally agenda driven, and this movie is not. And the numbers don't lie, right? If that's the only difference in the two films, and you have one that flops by hundreds of millions, and you have one that's going to give Disney, oh my gosh, I don't even know, $300-400 million of profit.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a hard decision anymore unless you're completely ideological. I think our side is going to be in danger if they don't recognize the lesson that's being learned here. They're going to get drawn into an argument of, well, Pixar, you all said Pixar is broke and they've gone woke and they're dead, and look what they've done with Inside Out 2. And then, that's going to fluster some people on our side who don't think about this deeply and go, wait a minute. This is actually proving the case we've been making for years. What do you think, Mike?
I think you're 100% on point. And the thing is that whatever criticism you and other YouTubers and those that follow Disney may have about this whole woke issue, the woke issue is central to the brand of Disney. The woke issue is central to the vision, mission of Walt himself. It is, the whole woke issue is in direct conflict with Americana. It's in conflict with American family values. It's in conflict with the fabric of this country, which, by the way, is the sole reason that Disney has been so successful over the last 100 years. Walt was able to capture Americana, the essence of what families wanted, and built the brand on that. It was not built on all this other crap that they're peddling these days, whether it's through the Acolyte or other places. That brand was built on the core fabric of this country and all of the values that Walt embraced.
That's right. And folks, I'll just tell you, here's some of the reasons that Inside Out 2 is not woke, okay? I know I've got a problem with them using anxiety as an emotion, okay? Set that to the side for the moment, because that's a deeper conversation. But Inside Out 2 is starring a little white girl with a little white family, and her being on the hockey team is all about merit. Nobody's being chosen for their skin color. Nobody's being chosen for their ethnicity. And this little white girl is friends with people of all different backgrounds, races, creeds, and they accept her and she accepts them. That is as anti-woke as I can think of, because what do we want in the anti-woke crowd? We want people to be friends across these tribes. We want to dismiss the idea that you can't be friends with those who look differently than you, who have different immutable differences. So guess what? Inside Out 2 is not woke, and not in the traditional sense. So anyway, that's where we'll leave it, folks. Take the win here. Don't fall for being in the loss, because they're going to try to reframe the narrative. This is a film that chooses not to be woke, and therefore it did not go broke. The formula still clearly stands, and hopefully Disney will learn from this, at least if investors are going to have a good time for the next years to come. And also, by the way, if movie theaters are going to still be standing, they need Disney to start doing something a la Inside Out 2. Hopefully Moana 2 will do the same.
Yep.
Mike, before you go, I want to apologize to you.
Uh-oh.
Mike, you told me that you went to the gym the other day and you were listening to Vacation Radio, and you did not hear your tribute song play on Vacation Radio. And I want to apologize to you, Mike. Mike, did you know that we have tripled the number of times that He's a Mexican Iron Man, the song, plays on Vacation Radio? Just because the fans wanted it.
I love that song. It's a cool jam. People, if you haven't gone to check out Vacation Radio, I was working out in my home gym yesterday when I was listening to it. I didn't listen. The song is hilarious. Pro A+. It's very it's a lot of fun, and it's very humbling that you put that out there. But it's going to play 3 times as often. Wow! Look out, everybody! Go check out Vacation Radio. The link you're going to put the link in the chat, I'm sure. So click on the link, go over there, subscribe, and it's a lot of fun over there. So check it out and check out my song. And thanks for doing that, folks. Bro. It's very it's very humbling. Thank you.
The people love you, Mike. We had to have a tribute song. I mean, there had to be something. You know, Tenacious D, they did a song about the greatest song ever, right? And we had to have a tribute to you. But folks, yeah, go check it out. We're trying to create new content. We need to get that thing monetized for YouTube to say, oh, yeah, this is worth your time. Until then, we're all on our own trying to build this thing up. But we're not all on our own, because you folks, you are out there and you are the electricity. Subscribe, listen in, have some fun. And who knows, you just might hear He's a Mexican Iron Man. Taco Man. All right, folks, it's time for you to do what you can. Click on the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. Let us know what you think about whether or not Inside Out 2 is woke. Have you seen the film? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And do you think we have the perfect dichotomy right now to understand how this works, so that even those YouTubers out there who can't quite figure it out, maybe they can even begin to ponder that woke equals no good and unwoke equals make money. How about that? All right, folks, we will see you real soon. Go check out Mexican Iron Man on Midnight's Edge. Our friends over there on the channel do great, great work. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Yeah, I am so excited for Independence Day. You can taste the liberty and drink in all that 4th of July freedom.
Why? You're not an American, and you don't live in America. Not to mention, you're a troll, and they're from Norway.
Wait, you're saying that trolls can't have the spirit of America? How do you explain Leslie Headland? That'd also be like saying the Acolyte isn't Star Wars.
Well, I guess it's not bad to not be American and wish for that kind of freedom. But please, don't compare this situation to the Acolyte and it being Star Wars. Nothing's that bad.
Well, gosh darn it. You've given me something new to aim for.